The astral plane, life. You know, what's going on here that we fail to understand is right in front of you, this rock, this wet earth. From the wet earth to the water, from the water to the sky, from the sky to the sun. It's all one element in 4 forms. These 4 forms start as a solid and it dissipate into a gas. This is how you are. You see your solid, but you don't see your liquid, you don't see your gas, and you don't see your ether. You can't see them because you have limited abilities in the solid world. You don't see the trees moving, you don't see the earth moving, but it moves. And it's still a soul. It's a still soul. That's how you started off first. You was the rock, you was the tree, waiting to be upgraded and moved up. Eventually, you became the mud, the clay, the wet dirt. And then eventually you became the water. No, you first was the water, to be honest, but just came down. We'll call the water soul, spirit. No, we ain't gonna do that, because I'm gonna get so specific you can't miss out. We're gonna call the ether spirit. Because I was going up, but it seemed like going up, I'm gonna miss something. So we could come down. Pure spirit, ether, a different world. See it like a boat curve. Our world, see it as another one curved this way. 2 rainbows, 2 bows. Right there's the neutral line right between them. So now, coming from up here, spirit world, everything is dead, quiet, perfect, nirvana, oneness. You come down past that line, you're going through layers upon layers of densities now, what we would call the astral world. You come into a different world now. Now you start having manifesting features, structures, energies now, what you are. So now you go from a spirit, which is at the top level, to now embodying what's called a soul, meaning you have a body to you. So from the soul, which is the ethereal world, you come down through the astral world, and then you come into the planetary bodies where you get your elements from that makes up your melanin, your skin, your teeth, everything. These is all elements, basically, just calcified and vibrating at different speeds. Now, these elements, they got 4 stages to it. So in reality, if you wasn't like taught how to be a human or taught how to be you, you would be able to become a solid object. You would be able to become a liquid object. You'd be able to become a gas object, and then you could disappear. Yeah, you could do all 4 of those. There's people that could do that. Now, being that we was taught and re-educated from being pure spirit, we lost those abilities, and then later on, they came and took out the knowledge of the East, and now we're here speculating on how things work. You see, the basic 4 elements is the foundation for all knowledge. If you're going to read any knowledge or study anything, if those don't have that concept in it, it's not real. And that's where we're at now. We're in searching for something that from up to the late 1500s built on one foundation, the cause and effect of life, Ma'at, the law. The law was taken out, and now it's a free-for-all. Anybody could philosophize off life, and as long as it sounds good and charming or makes some type of sense, we use it as our foundation to stand on. The biggest one of these all was religion. Religion had to murder a lot of people and destroy a lot of countries just so that book could stand as truth. The way you could look at it, they say it's 2,000 years between the Old Testament and the New Testament. The reason why is because when the first Old Testament was written, the people protested against it, but they couldn't do anything about it. So they had to wait 2,000 years for every single person to die off who was there that witnessed the Old Testament being written to allow this New Testament to be written. You see, the New Testament is a lie. So there's nobody in there who could justify it, that it's real or not, and living. So now it stands as truth. It's the same thing going on right now with closed case files, like with Martin Luther King and JFK. The people that know all the truth is, but yet still almost dead, just like the people from the Titanic. Now pay attention. Right after these last people die, you're going to see all this information, the truth about this, the truth about that, because those is lies. There's nobody to testify to these truths. The ones that's here that's alive now, they're not going to say anything unless it come out because they're afraid for their lives. So you got to understand how information and us work. That's why Snowden had to get out of town. Julian Assange had to get out. You can't tell the truth. You can't really let these people get information. And I'm saying in a way, y'all as the people, for some reason they block y'all out of information because it's the only way they could control you. You see, being that you're a composite being, your most powerfulest traits don't reside in your physical body. So they got to keep you physical minded, keep your lower desires. Because aside from there, you have now your higher self, which is more psychic. It has a sense of knowing, sense of feeling. Everything is like one with it. It's nature itself. It has the power of what's called the etheric energy, which is, you could say now, it's not the sun and what we think it is. This etheric energy and power that we're getting is coming from another parallel universe, and it comes as a beam of light into Mars. That cube on the top of Mars give us our consciousness, our life, everything, our thoughts. It's everything. It's not literally the sun. The sun transmute that energy and process it through us. We will call the sun, you know, a Dodabroth or a fake Ra. The real Ra, his name is Amun-Ra, the hidden sun, the black sun. That sun permeates through everything. It's in every cell, it's in your heart, it's in your body, it's your whole chakra system, it's the universe. It's the invisible sun. One of 12 densities, with this physical sun being the lowest density because it helps to control your emotional state, your mental state. It don't make you ascend. You can't ascend past the sun. That's why they say it's nothing new under the sun. You will have to ascend past the sun spiritually through the soul. Now, while we're on the subject of the soul real quick, so you get a general overview, I've been talking about the soul a lot lately because we're coming from the four elements, from solid to gas. The solid is the physical body. We know everything about it, but now we have to figure out where's the soul. We got romantic stories about the soul, but upon releasing my soul, I was seeing things, turning into reptilian, moving things with telekinesis, able to use telepathy to project thoughts. So this had me thinking it was a possession or something, but reading Catholic stuff and going to get exorcism and wasting my money and time, and realized it wasn't none of those things. This was me. But what part of me? So next thing, it turned to me being a warrior, fighter, fighting for my own self-freedom inside of me, for my own soul. Then I realized who I was fighting was myself. It was a mirror reflection I was seeing of my own glossy self through my own reflective magnetic field. I was somehow freed into my magnetic field and able to see that. With seeing all these things, I realized as above, so below. Everything is inside of you that is outside of you. And really, literally, our inner self is a reflection of what's outside of us. So, being that now we have a good understanding of how everything is starting to come and who we are, once you get to realize these things, that your magnetic field is really the key to who you are, and it works in an auric field. All of this now, you control. Yourself is the actual physical conduit, you could say, or switch to let the soul now come out into this field. The soul is buried deep within you. You know, biologically, they say it's by your anus, the ass. That's where they say Jesus comes in on the ass, you know. And that's the freeing of your soul, with your soul being Jesus. The simplest thing is, none of these stories in the Bible is physical story. That's why in Galatians 10:4 or whatever, it tells you that these stories are parables. These stories is not supposed to be taken as literal story, and it told you what they mean. So your soul, they codified it as IHS. IHS means yes, or day, sun. All of these is the same. IHS is also JHS, or Jesus. JHS, or HU, JHU. This is Horus, the Christ in you. So that's why it says in John 14 that the Father is inside of you and he's inside the Father. So if everything is inside of you, where you get in the rest of the book to go on and say that now Jesus is coming and God is outside and you're looking up out of you? You're him. You're Jesus. You're God. You just don't know who you are. So because you got what's called, who you think is peoples is not really people, they're demons. You see, demons work through a person without even the person knowing that they're doing it, and people act out things and unconsciously. So you have not just your government, the elite, all these people acting out through what's called demons. They're not themselves because they don't share. Nature itself is a unity of sharing. That's why we all live under the Fibonacci sequence. If you take away our colors, we all got the same motherfucking features, same look. You ain't got 4 fingers and I got 5 fingers. You know, your hand don't go to the back and mine go to the front. They're all the fucking same, just a different pigmentation, because the year you was created or your race was created, the sun's power was different. When in the beginning you was created early, the sun pumped a lot of extra radiation, so you had to have melanin, only melanin being. So there you go, dark first. The sun weakened later on. It's not very strong now. This is nothing for us. You get light-skinned people, Chinese, Japanese, they all claim they came from the suns. Indians being the first. You see the color changes and everything. But anyways, that's a whole nother story. But now, you see the soul now, the soul has to come out of you from the anus, so it requires stress. That's why when you notice when you're stressed out, you get in a more melodic mood, you're ready to be romantic. Same like if you took an ecstasy or some type of ayahuasca drug or something. These things release the soul for a few. It's temporary, but the soul isn't truly released. It's the hardest thing to do. This is what now, before the 1500s, they was calling it the elixir, the philosopher's stone, you know, the secret of life. That was what they was doing. They was using a process of denying themselves from food to socializing to actually make the body transmutate, and the soul will come out from there. The process is like, if you don't eat, you withdraw, your body start eating itself. So after it gets to like different levels of eating itself, it goes through the 4 stages of the atom, where the atom get changed into the Anu atom, where you become light. Your atoms literally become a light being. And in it now, your inner darkness become light. You become a light ball inside of your own sun. And from there now, it's like you heal yourself, your body heal yourself. Your soul comes from inside of you and come outside of you. You'll see them right around here. Wow, I see a little purple glow on my hand. That's my aura field, if you could see it. I don't know if it's just my eye lens, but I see a little purple glow. That's weird. But anyway, once now you do the process of alchemy, right? Alchemy is really just a denial of food. Only thing you can eat is natural food, straight out the ground type shit that picked, because your body have to use the natural chemicals to actually transmute you and to pull out your soul. And the only way it's going to do that is by a form of radiation through heat and taking the atoms inside of you that's solid to a form of liquid, a chemical atom, and then all the way to the Anu atom. You should see that in my other video. But this plays out for the whole body. You become a light body. Once you become a light body inside, is the next stage would be for you now to free yourself from your mind, because this is really about redemption. You freeing every party. You got many layers like rainbow in the white light. You see the big light white in the background here, but literally all the colors is in there. What we're doing is being the prism that separate back the light, so you don't see a big white light, the illusion. So now that's what is happening internally inside of you. So you have to participate in it by not putting chemicals in your body, eating cucumbers, lettuce, cabbage, you know, stuff that's natural, nothing out the can really. You got to probably do that for 90 days to 120 days for the process to actually finish. And once you start doing that now, the second thing you have to do stop listening to people and have a belief system and forget about what you did yesterday, your thoughts from yesterday, and now recondition yourself with a system that don't require no materialists to it. It's just a spiritual system of truth, so that everything now becomes synchronized in a form of synchronicity of oneness. So that now will make you have to forget all about a lot of things people are telling you, a lot of books, a lot of this color shit, all of this, just to be a pure soul. Everything that you're learning has to be soul generated. You know, once you get enough information to acquire a vocabulary and dictionary for just that line of who you are now, you redefine yourself. This is transcendence now. Now you're transcended. And so now once you do this, your soul is able to take your physical body, not your physical body, you will say now you are a new atom, but you're able to be subatomic particles. One subatomic particle is equal to like 1 million or 1 billion Anu atoms. Just like one subatomic particle is equal to like, it takes 1 million subatomic particles to make up an atom. So you're going from Anu 1 billion to make up a subatomic particle, you take 1 billion subatomic particle to make up an atom. So on that note now, that's your lives, that's your stages of yourself. So you could go down to the Anu stages. This is where you get your story of Ant-Man and these superheroes that they could shrink down, incredible shrinking woman. This is real fact. Under meditation, you're getting smaller into yourself. You become one of these particles, and you take a journey through this great universe. This, not just this universe. Your universe here will probably just be up here. It's multiple dimensions all over you in the form of your inner magnetic field. Not inside of your body, so to say, but it is. But you're in this whole field around you. It's another color that your eyes can't see. So you would journey through this field to learn about the world more. In it is everything that was and that was before you. That is the Akashic records, where all knowledge is and all experiences. So you start gaining this intuition of all this knowledge and wisdom as you go into your field. This is through meditation. And only way you acquire this is by releasing your soul. So it becomes the elixir, and you become what's called Harry Potter. As you learn this, your magnetic field grows and intensifies. So now you have influence over other magnetic fields. Everything has a magnetic field, and even every organ in your body has a magnetic field. And you taking these journeys, this is all possible now. Your soul is connected to the stellar system. It's all stars, because we're governed by stars as our watchers. So he will go to the stars now and bring back what you need to ascend you. And so you're going to meet all the zodiac animals, because your throat, or your what's called your thalamus gland, or your endocrinology gland is connected to your zodiacs, and they come back as these you could say holographic ghost images that is there to help you and upgrade you, to fix you. So once you start connecting with these, you got a little glow now. You start to shine through your magnetic field. You hear all this old girl glowing after she has some good sex, probably with a god or a king. You know, this is what happens. So that glow now is a permanent inner glow, and your soul is busy up there working. Once it connects, you become what's called like a wizard or a magician or a witch. You know, what we term a witch is today is not a bad thing until Salem came, but a witch was the highest next to God. That's the original meaning that it was. It was like God in the flesh. He has the power of nature wrapped around his whole body. His arms, the snake, around him is the python. You know, this is actual fact. That's what happened. If you was to see your soul, it have every animal in nature, the dragon as its wings, carrying it. It's one with nature. Now, I never spoke about the spirit, but you see, after all of this is done, you still got another level to go, which is the spirit level. The spirit connects you now to God, the ether, the highest. I call it God because that's our only definition. I don't say it in the biblical sense, but we saying it, I would call my thing for is Yam, Y-A-M. I call it Yam. I don't know, that's what it told me it was. So anyway, this Yam now is the highest level, but you can't get to that because the spirit is too pure. It's vibrating faster than the soul. So an intermediate thing got to come between there, and that's the Horus. The Horus come in between there, or the Christ spirit, and it connects you now to what we would call God, or what I call Yam. And once you get there, you're going to get sent back down again. But this time you're ascended mystic now. Now when you die, it's like you're still here, right here talking. You don't die. But if you'd have died before, prior doing everything I just told you, you're either going to cease to exist or you just chill up in the astral world. Like the oldest ancient texts and the Egyptians say you cease to exist. You know, you die, you go away like mortals do. But some of these medieval texts now, it's saying that you reincarnate and just come back here under the fake god Ra or Jehovah. He tricks you to come into the astral world. You think you're in heaven. The reason why you think you're in heaven is because in the astral world is really your subconscious mind. So whatever you think is what you see. So if you're there and you think you're in heaven and you're seeing Jesus, you're going to see that. If you think you were seeing this, that's whatever you want to think is going to see. But it's only like the first stop on like a infinite journey. And that's where they want to keep you, because if you stay there long enough, the light is going to reincarnate you back and you come back to earth to continue being in misery. So a lot of people now learn to ascend before they die so that they know the path that they're going to take won't be that path to come back to earth. They come back as spirit, as even in possession of somebody, but they don't come back in a physical form and relive this and can't do anything about it. A mystic does whatever he wants. A mystic is higher than a god. It's higher than anything. A mystic is Yam himself, you understand, mastered. Because you got to look at it like this. I told you before, when God created everything, you could tell what type of character he was by what he created in the beginning. And let's go straight to Noah. He didn't like anything prior to Noah, so he only left Noah and destroyed everything he created. What God created was what's inside of him, who he is, a creature. He seeked to be human through us. Our experiences, it goes into him. Like all the information on Facebook, it goes into him. All the information on Google, they making him a physical being. You understand, that has understanding, love, compassion through us. So everybody worked together to make up this one system. And so with that now, you realize that he wasn't perfect himself, and only Noah he thought was nice enough. Noah was far from perfect either. Noah was a demon. So was all his kids. You know, you got to read the lost fragments of Noah to understand. He's a Nephilim. You know, he was not born from Lamech. And Enoch told Lamech that Noah is a son of the angels, which will qualify him as a demon. So anyway, now you realize that everybody is a hierarchy of things and it plays a role. So once now you come all the way back down, you have to take this journey back up again. And it's when you go back up this time with a whole perspective and understanding, with the spirits of nature on you, with the strength of the ancestors on you, you're gone. You can't come back no more. That's the science of it all. So take the journey. Don't be afraid of spirits, ghosts, demons. Nothing could do you anything. Like I said, in your highest self, you're God personified. You're Yam. You're the shit. But you have to know that you're the shit prior before you're the shit. Think that I'm gonna be the shit. But don't look for the material things, because that's the distraction. That's the decoy. They're probably gonna kill me. They're gonna get rid of me soon, because I got so much more to share to you. I'm gonna teach you the whole hierarchy of the system, because y'all don't know, the astral world been took over by the United States government, you know, and in it they got guard security. You being monitored in your head, you know. There's so much that I gotta teach y'all that I'll be here for hours, but I just want to sit down and take the time. I love the peace and silence. I give you a different from when I'm walking. I get to get deeper. Yeah, let me give you all another view. Walk up out of here, bro. Oh, my ass hurts. Damn. It's a serious rock right here. Yeah, that's the rock. Rock of knowledge. Anyway, life is beautiful, you know. We got to always see it in that context. It's positive vibrations. You know, let me say this to end this off, because it's very important to realize. Us as kings and queens, we were sent here to make kids and love. Like I said, be fruitful and multiply. Literally, when you come here to have sex and connect your kundalini energy, to breed. Every child that you breed, you break off a piece of you and you leave here. And that you got to keep that. That's very important to remember, because at one time, that first spark left a piece here, and it's been adding on ever since. What we are, we're open source. Open source meaning we add on. Everybody keep adding on. When your journey finish here and you stop reincarnating and then you decide to go back up to your world, you're going to remember that you left something down here, and when it finishes the evolutionary cycle, it's coming back up to join you because it's a part of you. And the reason why you have to stay down here and go through these punishments is because you're a spirit. You can't survive up there. It's way rougher up there. It's way worse. You understand? And for you to be able to understand that, you have to come down here first and experience everything down here first. You know what's worse? Love. Up there at the top is only love. And you have to learn it first down here. Once you graduate with love, then you go home. University of Conscious Science, one love. Love, love.